They were saying that Interstellar was like the new age Forrest Gump, right?
Welcome. This is the inaugural episode of the Squad Life Podcast, the best thing since the discovery of flight. This is the show where the squad discusses everything from sports to comics and everything in between. My name is Camper. You can follow me at Twitter at Camper Cobra. That's CamperKober, all one word. To my left is...
Jake Lee. They call me Spicy White here in the squad. I'm going to be your sports guy.
And I am Cody Lewis. You can follow me on Facebook, just Cody Lewis, and I will be the awkward creative guy.
My name is Brandon Ward. I'm the nerd guy. Anything that you would think of as a nerd liking, that's me. You can follow me on Twitter at Brandon_Ward13, or you can catch me on Facebook.
And I'm the all-around guy. I bring a little bit of everything to the table. You pick the subject, and I've got an opinion there. First of all, we want to open this up by thanking everyone that's listening. We want to thank everyone that's hit subscribe already, and if you have not, we want to invite you to do that so that you can get our show every time that we drop an episode. And next, we also want to thank everybody that supported us on our release date, where we released on Facebook here this past week that we were going to do a podcast. And we had tremendous support from our friends and family, and we're seeing an increase in likes, an increase in shares. We're just getting our brand out there, and personally want to shout out a few people.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Alec Vargas. He wants so bad to fit in, but he just falls a little short. So shout out to Alec Vargas there.
Every time we did something kind of weird, we changed our profile without letting anybody know, or we kind of teased the squad bit there. He was always one that and he's not on the show, unfortunately, but he was always one that would just do that with us. I want to personally shout out Matt Powers as well, Anthony Vargas, Daniel Ray, anybody else.
Andrew Black.
Absolutely. Appreciate everyone out there. Even Jake's fiance as well. Anyone out there, our friends and family who've been with us since before they ever knew we were doing a podcast. Just want to thank you for the support. We've got a few different topics. Normally, what we want to do is bring one or two main topics to the table where, like I said, we cover sports, comics, movies, life in general, current events. We want to pick one or two of those topics, really center our focus around that, and spend the bulk of our time on those. Today, though, as an introduction, we just want to introduce ourselves and introduce what the squad life is. So, as far as giving a bio, or if you're a comic book nerd like some of us, I'm not huge into comic books. I do collect a few, as you'll learn here in a second. You're familiar then with an origin story, or even if you've watched the superhero movies over the past decade or so, your origin story is really the first movie they make about you, is how you got your superpowers, how you got to where you're at. And to give you guys a little glimpse into our lives, we're going to give our origin story and how we got to this point in our lives. So to open it up, once again, my full name is Michael Kober. They do call me Camper, and it's a story for a different podcast. But we're recording this in Meridian, Mississippi, where we happen to all meet at college. I'm from Montana, and for those of people down here in the South, they just think that Montana is really an extension from Canada into the United States. Yeah, so
it is.
So I like to say that I'm from Canada Junior. When I came down here, I certainly talked like one. I even played hockey for 13 years. Some other sports that I played was baseball. I didn't play that all throughout high school, though. I stopped playing my freshman or junior year. I did play tennis all throughout high school. I competed in speech and debate, which is kind of a nerd thing that I don't tell a whole lot of people. And a few other things. Sports really isn't my only interest. As you'll learn later, it is one of my biggest interests, as we talk about our professional teams. But I do follow comics a little bit. If you know me, then you know that I am all about some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and not the Michael Bay remixes, not those trash things. I collect the comic books, but I am all about some Ninja Turtles. In fact, I'm wearing a Ninja Turtle shirt right now. If you watched our Facebook Live from earlier tonight, then you know that. Ninja Turtles isn't the only thing, though. I do appreciate any sort of comic book movies out there. DC or Marvel. We can get into some debates later on about which one's better. I like them both, though. My favorite show is, of course, The Office. There really is no comparison in any genre. I have watched the series multiple times, and me and my friends, especially here at the squad, we just dropped some, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a joke in between two people.
Inside joke?
An inside joke. That's exactly what I'm thinking about.
Those are fun to be a part of.
But The Office is my favorite show. As far as movies are concerned, I think we can all agree that Christopher Nolan is one of the, if not the greatest director out there. And I'm a big fan of his movies specifically. I think the greatest movie out there is Inception. Interstellar is also up there.
Shout out.
And I think the greatest comic book movie, or movie around a comic book character, is The Dark Knight Rises. Is that the third one, or is it just The Dark Knight for the second one?
The Dark Knight's just the second one.
Okay, I thought it was The Dark Knight Rises.
No, that's the third one. That's the one with Bane.
Okay. That one's a good one, too. I like that one.
Camper, I knew that.
Oh, how many times have you watched Star Wars?
0.
Okay, so shut up.
And we will fix that.
And that mumble that you just heard is our next bio, our next origin story.
None other than
Spicy White.
Spicy White, introduce your bio to the people.
And be loud and
Okay,
clear.
so I'm Jake. They call me Spicy White, as you've heard. I grew up in Meridian, unlike Camper. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be your sports guy. I love sports. I love everything sports. That is one of my main hobbies. Well, really my only technical hobby is just following anything sports. I'm getting married in 3 months, exactly 3 months from today, which is May 5th. I'm getting married on August 5th. So shout out Ashlyn. She's probably asleep by now. But anyway, I love her, obviously, way more than sport.
attaboy. Attaboy.
That's a dedicated fiance right there.
On a different kind of level of love, I love Mississippi State athletics. Always have. Love Mississippi State football.
Any kind of athletics.
Yeah, including women's basketball.
Shout out to the Mississippi State women's basketball team for their recent success. Do you follow the disc golf team?
They did win a championship a few years.
So yes.
Not on a full-time basis, no.
We'll take yes.
But anyway, I love Mississippi State. Big Atlanta Braves fan. Always loved the Braves. Recently became a Redskins fan. I was forced to pick a NFL team a few years back by these guys sitting around the table, so I picked the Redskins. Shout out Kirk Cousins. I was also a few days ago forced to select a NBA team, which I have changed since I selected that team.
It used to be the Spurs.
It used to be the Spurs.
This is news to us.
Shout out T-Lot. I'm a Rockets fan.
Oh. Boo.
I am a Rockets fan. I have decided to put my full NBA devotion into Houston.
We'll keep an update on that next week. Likely to change.
It'll probably be the Cleveland Cavaliers at the end of the season. It's most likely to change.
It could, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to stick with the Rockets this time.
Just for anybody who may be listening to this a few years down the road, currently we're actually in the middle of a playoff series between the Rockets and the Spurs.
Correct.
Did you change after Game 1?
No.
So it was before Game 1. But it was...
Yes, it was after, but not...
So during the series, you changed from the team that your team was... Or you changed from your favorite team to the team they were playing.
Yeah.
Okay. just so this is documented.
Yes, that is correct. So that's kind of the sports side of me. I currently am a working in carpentry. That's what I do for.
Like Jesus.
Yeah, I am. Well, I'm not Jesus, but I'm trying to be like Jesus.
There you go. Good recovery.
But that's how I make a living right now. Gonna try to change that here pretty soon. But as far as favorite movie, I'm not quite as big into the comic world as the rest of these three guys. But my favorite movie is Braveheart. I also like The Patriot. I've heard that called Braveheart too. So I like both of those movies. My favorite show, I love The Office, but my favorite go-to show is gotta be the Andy Griffith Show.
I would not. I mean, I expect nothing. Like, I would expect that response out of you. I don't know why. But
That's the truth about me. Like, if there's not a show I'm watching currently on TV or Netflix to catch up on, I'm going to the Andy Griffith Show.
Interesting.
Seems really appropriate.
Yes. For our listeners that like the show and choose to stick with us, you'll soon find out that perfectly sums up Spicy White's
Jake
personality.
he's an old soul.
Yes.
Really is. Really is.
And to his left.
Okay, so I guess that's it's my turn. Cody here again.
What's your nickname, Cody?
Oh, yeah, they call me Superman.
Okay.
Well, I say they. Not many people call me Superman, actually. They just, yeah, it's more of like a mantra, I guess. Well, yeah. Brandon could probably tell the story better than I can because he's the one that gave me the nickname. But apparently he saw some kind of quality that Superman has in me, and I do respect that.
Well, it's a
by the way.
tradition. I give every one of my friends a
That's quite the
superhero
compliment.
name.
Right. And who's Camper's superhero?
Shazam, but he does not claim that.
And,
Yeah, I don't know much about Shazam.
He is kind of-
Shazam.
First, you got to get it right.
Do I have a superhero nickname? Because I don't remember getting
I'm pretty sure I gave you Green
as I said,
Lantern.
you
as
were
the,
you were a lantern.
yeah.
Oh, I do remember that. I do remember that now.
And not too many.
Well, Spicy White came up. Thank
Yeah,
you.
he's Han Solo. If we're really getting into it.
And not
take
too many of you are probably familiar with Shazam, but we tell Camper all the time that he is a really cool superhero, and he has refused to believe us.
He's got a movie coming out, doesn't he?
We're
in the
it's
next
trying.
few
years.
Yeah, it's trying.
Really?
It's in the works.
Dwayne Rock Johnson is playing the villain.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a little tangent off of that, but yeah. So again, I will be the kind of awkward creative guy of the group. I enjoy sports. I don't follow sport as closely as the other three. I played baseball in high school. I did cross country. Played in the band on the drum line.
You said you ran cross country?
Yes.
I didn't know that about you. In high school?
Yes.
All 4 years?
Junior and senior year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I used it as a way to stay in shape between baseball.
He's easily the most fit of the four of us.
Thank you. So that's high school. I gave up baseball for college. I decided just to kind of focus on the studies there. And speaking of college, I will be
Same.
I will be entering physical therapy school at the end of this month, which is May. May 31st is when classes start. As far as movies go, I think my top two, if I would have to think about top three or top five, but top two would easily be Forrest Gump and Interstellar. There's not really a particular order to those. Those are just
They're very, very different.
Different movies. Yeah.
That's okay.
Classic acting.
they were saying
Oh,
that Interstellar was like the new age Forrest Gump, right? And that's what they were kind of
I don't
Well,
see that.
not-
I
That's
don't see the
debatable.
comparison.
It's
there.
good.
just in its
I don't
its
see the
qual-
comparison
not
between the two.
comparison, but isn't that what they were kind of saying? Like it's the
He was there.
I mean, I have no idea.
I may be making that up. So if y'all are listening out there, don't take my word for that.
I mean, I think that's a good way. I mean, tweet if you agree with Cody. I mean, is Interstellar the new age Forrest Gump?
I don't think so.
And when I say new age, don't get that confused with other stuff out there. I don't
Like a modern?
yeah,
Is that
yeah, like a modern. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm not following.
I don't know. Let's just forget I said that.
It's okay.
And I'll just stick with that. Those are two of my favorite movies.
I also like Forrest Gump very much.
Well, thank you for
Great movie.
affirming my likeness.
It's a classic.
Yeah. As far as shows right now, on Netflix, I am going back through The Office. This is my second time going through it. It pales in comparison to how many times these other guys have watched it.
This guy takes so long to get through a series of shows. And I like The Office. Like I said, it's easily my favorite show. And I could spend, a good chunk of time here talking about it, and I won't. But if I sat down and I got hooked on a show, depending on how many seasons and how many episodes per season, I could get through it by the latest in a couple of months. Would you guys give or take some of that?
Oh yeah, I binge watch.
Yeah, not series
And
with a lot of shows.
depending on the show, you just can't help it. Sometimes.
Yeah, so The Office has 9 seasons, and excluding the first season, there's about 20. Some have 15, I think, 15 to 22 episodes, maybe 26. I'm not.
Yeah, it's gotten up into the 23.
Okay, yeah.
223 most of them.
And there's shows with more, but I could get through that in 2 months at the latest, easily. Cody, how long did it take you for your first time through The Office?
I have no idea. Camper. Have no idea.
Did you like it?
Yes, I loved it. And
Oh my God.
Was it longer than 6 months?
It could have been, Jake. It could have been.
Pretty sure it was. The thing about Cody is he's a procrastinator.
I am.
I've tried so many times to get him to watch shows, and he's like, "Yeah, I watched the first episode." And I'm like, "Well, have you seen it since then?" A couple weeks later, I ask him, "Have you seen it since then?" He's like, "I haven't."
Bruh, I'm saving it. And that's what I did with The Office. The first time through, I saved it because I savored it is a better word because I loved it so much, I drew it out.
It tastes just the same if you gobble it up in one bite.
I would forget what's going on.
No, see,
I get impatient, like for the new Walking Dead season that just ended a few weeks ago. I got impatient between each episode, and it might have been the layout that they had wrote it for each episode and the entire season. But I'd forgotten what happened in the last episode. And to be fair, to give Cody some credit, he doesn't just sit down. I don't assume you to be the person that would just sit down and binge watch an entire series. You stayed fairly busy.
Yes, there is that. When I could, though, I would binge. I would take any, like on the weekends, yeah. That's when I did most of my watching. But still on the whole Netflix thing, I'm currently, like I said, watching The Office, but I've also gotten really into Supernatural for all the Supernatural fans out
That's
there.
A good one.
Shout out. I think I'm in season 9 right now.
Oh, you're catching up.
Yeah.
See, that's a series that has a lot of shows.
And there's
That's why
a lot
I like
going,
that.
There's a lot going on in that series.
Are you Team Dean or Team Sam?
I feel like I would be. I don't know. That's a tough.
You come off very Team Sam.
I was
to me
about
for
to
some
say
reason.
Sam.
I would be Team Dean.
Thank you, Brandon.
Hold up for a second. Is that a thing where
No, not really.
I didn't know that was a thing?
No, there are teams out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are they made up completely of girls or?
Well, I'm Team Dean, and I'm not a girl.
Well,
You can
I'm-
say I am.
I
but
said
I'm not.
if I had to choose. I'm not saying that I willingly got into this movement that probably girls made.
Yeah, I would say that.
Let's just preface this little tangent that we are not choosing sides. It's just if we had to choose.
Okay, so shout out to all of our listeners who are into the Supernatural. If you aren't and you had no idea what we were talking about for the past minute, go watch Supernatural. We highly
that's
recommend it.
And for all of those of you who don't watch The Office, go check that out too, because that is
Absolutely.
Well, my question is, what have you been doing with your life if you haven't seen The Office?
If you don't have a friend who has ever dropped an Office reference or asked you if you've seen The Office or what your favorite show is, and they don't drop The Office in that,
they are doing you a big disservice. And we are here to be those friends that recommend The Office, and we say go watch it. Like the minute you hear these words coming out of our mouths, go watch The Office. Finish this podcast first, but watch The
Sound
Office.
advice.
I would be okay if you just started
Okay.
watching The Office and stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If you haven't seen it, just pause the podcast, go watch it, come back, and listen to the
Okay, well, there you have it. We give you permission. Not that you really needed it in the first place, but moving on. I think I've covered pretty much all my points, so I'm going to hand it off to the guy to my left.
Yeah, that's me, Brandon, again. How you doing? It's been a while. I am married. Married really young. Married my high school sweetheart, Debbie. We have a son together. He is the embodiment of everything I am, down to the likes.
He looks exactly like
Looks just
Yeah.
like Brandon.
Yeah.
You put some glasses on that kid, and he's not even 2 yet. When's his birthday?
July.
Oh, soon.
So-
soon.
So when Debbie had him, she turned to me and said, "You cannot question if he's your son or not. If anything, I need to question you. So I mean, he definitely is the embodiment of me. I am a nerd in every aspect of the word. I am the guy that has a box of comic books. Shout out to DC. Rebirth series, amazing.
Ooh, yes.
What's Marvel? I have no idea because their comic books suck.
They're not that bad.
Captain America is a Nazi.
Okay, so I
He's a
can't
Hell Hydra.
I can't go back and argue comic books with you, especially the modern ones. I from what I know, I would give DC the edge in the modern ones just because Marvel's changing so much. But do you know much about the years past?
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of the older Marvel comic books, and they're good. But I mean, if you ask a kid who's the best superhero out there, they're gonna say Batman or Spider-Man, maybe Superman. I mean, Batman's got the greatest villains. It's got the greatest storylines. You talk about the Dark Knight Returns, the Killing Joke. I mean, you start pulling these storylines, and they're some of the best out there.
So I would ask the same kid. I said, "Who's your favorite rich guy who has no superpowers in a funny suit with a cape?" And he would also say Batman.
Oh, well, you can say that, but that rich guy with no superpowers is one of the most popular members of the league, and he's constantly saving other members of the league, and he has defeated Superman countless times.
Okay,
Yeah.
with a ring, right?
No,
Or what was the kryptonite in? Was it
I
rings?
see what you're trying to do, and it's just not working.
Fair enough. That's a discussion for another podcast.
Yes, it is. I too am not just a nerd, but I am a big sports guy. Favorite college team is the Texas Longhorns. Hook 'em.
Do you care about the women's college basketball team as much as Jake Lee has with his?
I am a guy, so I'm gonna go no. I mean, I
Irrational.
could brag about sports that aren't really that big too, like swimming and track. I mean, we have national championships out the wazoo.
Yeah. So to be fair, Texas has had more national championships, where Mississippi State is a little lacking there.
0.
Oh, they've got the disc golf one.
Oh, they do.
They bring that up.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
real quick, I found out just in the last couple of days, it's not an official part of the athletics program, but there is a Mississippi State hockey team.
Interesting. Like on ice?
Yes.
Where do they play?
I guess in Jackson. I have no
They
idea.
have they do have like an arena or something like that.
So, shout out
yeah.
to our listeners who may not be in Mississippi. Mississippi State's campus is located in Starkville, Mississippi, which is a good distance away from any cold spot in the or any cold region in the United States. So
Yes.
having a hockey rink here in the South is very rare. So to hear that an SEC school has a hockey team is surprising to me, and they must not be very good or very relevant to be brought in the discussion, because I've never heard about it.
Okay, now to take Jake away from talking about Mississippi State again. I also follow like NBA and MLB and stuff like that. My NBA, it's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder, Russell Westbrook MVP. I like the Colorado Rockies and MLB and the Denver Broncos. So my teams are really out towards the west. If you were to look at a map and say where are Brandon's teams at. School-wise, I'm in seminary right now at Southwestern. Most of it being done online, just watching lectures and writing papers. Just got done with my first semester. Definitely a very stressful one, but glad it's over. Favorite director, because I'm not going to go with movies. It is Christopher Nolan. I'm a Nolanite.
Did you just make that up?
I did.
Okay.
That was very
It sounded
improv.
like there's a fan base around him that call themselves.
I mean, I may actually make that a thing. Favorite movie, I won't choose because I am very into movies. I started watching movies with my dad. I inherited hundreds of them after he passed away, and just have a big passion for movies. Favorite shows, I mean, obviously, I think we have all. If you haven't seen The Office, then you've got the endorsement of all of us, because that is the greatest comedy out there. I know I'm about to get really hammered for this. Probably not, because it's so far out there from which I would expect.
Shows?
You probably wouldn't even know what I'm talking
Gilmore
about. But
Girls.
no, I have seen that. My show from this past year, just besides regular shows that I watch like Walking Dead and stuff, is This Is Us, and it's actually a family romantic type show, but it's amazing. I mean, it covers topics like race, marriage, alcoholism. It's just a great show with a great cast. So if you need a recommendation out there to watch with your significant other, This Is Us. It comes on NBC, so shout out to them.
My fiance and her parents watched that, and
Great show.
I didn't really catch it when they started watching it, so they would be watching it in the middle of show, and I would have no idea what's happening. But I might have to go back and.
Well, you can watch them on NBC's website.
Can you?
Just
They're
search
still
This
on
Is
there?
Us, yeah. Like I said, it's one of those scenarios where I'm like, Cody, watch this show. He said, yeah, I watched the first episode. A month later, I said, Cody, you watch any more? He says, no.
I watched the first
See,
episode.
I'm telling you, I'm saving it. I'm
Alright.
saving it.
Were you into the series?
You cried.
Yes,
Did you not?
yes.
You cried.
I teared up with the first episode.
You cried in the first episode. And you
teared up.
And you didn't go back to
I-
see the second one?
I did not.
I feel like there's two knocks here that we should point out, that you cried not even with very little story and character development.
There was
There's
a
a lot
in the first episode.
How long is each episode?
about an hour. Yeah,
Yeah.
an hour with commercial.
So about an hour in, and you tear up.
Yes.
I have a confession. I think y'all probably know this, but to our listeners, I have cried in one movie. One movie only.
Is it Old
Was
Yeller?
this-
No.
Is it about a dog?
No, it is not.
Okay, well then never mind.
See, that would be what my go-to would be for
Is
Jake.
it? Oh no, you're gonna think it's really obvious when I tell you. The only movie I have ever cried in is American Sniper.
That's a good one.
Ah,
Yeah.
Cried at the end of that.
I thought he was going to say it was a sports game, like a recorded version of a state game or something.
Yeah.
The 8-0 We Believe season or something.
Horrible season, and I will tell you that no way I thought we were gonna beat Alabama. in
Camper,
that game.
didn't he say that he was going to cry during the women's basketball game?
Oh, he said he almost cried when they beat UConn, and it's a big feat to beat someone who has 111 straight wins. But
And in the fashion that we did too.
it was in overtime, and shout out to the ladies out there who play basketball. Probably ball a lot better than any of us. But I'm used to watching NBA and even watching March Madness. The competition level is pretty high, and to take such a drastic leap to watch women's college basketball it's not very fun for me to watch.
Yeah, it's a very different game.
Different.
Yeah, I can see. I will say, yeah, I will probably not just sit down and watch another women's basketball game until the women's NCAA tournament next year, because we should still be pretty good. Maybe make another run to that championship. But
All right, we're done talking about this.
Jake, for the rest of this podcast, you cannot mention Mississippi State. That is your challenge.
Anything else for your bio?
I think that pretty much covers it. Nerd, movies, comics, all that.
Okay. Oh, and you got your bachelor's degree, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a paper.
Yeah.
I don't know what I got it in clinical exercise physiology, same as my boy Cody here.
Yeah, shout out.
It's pretty much just to say I got a degree in clinical exercise physiology. That's pretty much all you can do with it is brag about it. And then
And I like to say with this degree, the good and bad thing about it is you can do pretty much anything you want. It can get you into graduate school, or you can just stop right there and
so what did we do? Cody decided to go to physical therapy, and I decided to go to seminary.
perfect example right there. Yeah.
So he's going to graduate school. Brandon is, and you just finished your first semester. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a lot harder than your undergrad or
There's a lot more papers. Yeah.
reading?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Cody, you had something to add.
Yes, I have forgotten in amongst all the talk of Supernatural and The Office. Even though those are two good things, I forgot to add that my favorite sports team is also Mississippi State. I do not.
He's a rational fan, if you ask me, as opposed to another Mississippi State fan in our midst.
It's a family affair for us. You know, it's a family tradition, and you know, though I'm not gonna just sit on that as my reason for liking them. I do legitimately enjoy their sports. But what's
Real quick, Jake and I talked about our significant others. Do you want to share anything about
about
your
my
girlfriend?
significant other? Yeah, we've actually been together for really not too long now. Actually,
Oh, what's her name?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, for all of those of you listening out there, you will figure out shortly, because I'm about to tell you now, that I do not have a girlfriend, and
Ladies, he's single.
and ready to mingle. What's up? Come on, hit me up. Just kidding.
And he doesn't have a Twitter, but what's your Instagram?
Well, yeah, I really don't use Instagram.
CODY, is it underscore?
Underscore
AA
AA underscore RON. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, on the comic books, I also have collected comic books in the past, and they've been DC Rebirth. They've been the Superman storyline and also the Flash. He is a character that I've recently gotten into. I was following him, the series on the CW until this season. I kind of quit watching that. Just wanted to add that in there.
Just like every CW show, about 3 seasons in, it falls flat on its face.
Yeah, it kind of did.
People say I should aspire to be more like the Flash.
And why is that?
They say I'm slow, but
Oh, okay.
or I move slow.
So for our listeners
Jake.
out there, I listen to podcasts at 1.5, and if you're not introduced to listening podcasts at a higher rate of speed, I would like to introduce you to that. When Jake Lee's talking, though, you're probably best fit to turn it to the 2.0.
I just want to ask Jake a question real quick. Jake, people say you should be like the Flash. Can you tell me what you think the Flash's real name is? Who he is in real life? Just take a guess at it.
No idea.
Can you take a guess at it?
No, I don't even.
You don't want to entertain it.
To be fair, I wouldn't have been able to tell you his name until I saw the CW series.
I have a better shot naming somebody at the cashier at Walmart.
Just the first name. Don't even say the last name.
We'll even give you a hint. It starts with the letter B.
Yeah, we'll go with B.
Brett.
That is actually not close at all.
Yeah, you're wrong. It's Barry.
Barry Allen.
Like Barry Bonds.
I don't like Barry Bonds. So.
But yeah, that is pretty much all I had to say. Just wanted to inject that in. Kind of forgot that.
Looking at that, moving on to our next topic, got the origin stories out of the way. Now we're moving into the squad life, the show that you're listening to now. So what I want to do is kind of introduce the idea, the concept of the squad life, give you guys a little peek into what we think the squad life is, what we think the squad life will become, and where we see ourselves in 10 years down the road. Brandon, do you mind telling the listeners a little bit about the squad life?
Yeah, I mean, the squad life is bigger than just the podcast. It's a brand, something that we hope will expand. Well, we hope that it expands starting with the podcast and maybe in the future just doing blogs and videos and just kind of, exposing just different aspects of our personalities with one another in a way that can entertain, inspire, and encourage others. We're planning on big things coming up after dropping this podcast. Right now, we're working on a website that you can have access to. We're really prepping up our social media accounts, so be sure to go and like those. And
Facebook, Twitter. Twitter, the handle is _Squad Life. We'll be sure to drop that again later. Facebook is just the Squad Life Podcast. We don't have an Instagram yet. Sure to get one soon.
And really be looking at both of these. I would encourage you to like and follow on all aspects of social media, because we're going to be doing some giveaways every now and then. We're going to have just exclusive content just for each social media account. So
that's where our main announcements will be coming from as well.
Yeah, and we would love to get feedback and questions, and we would love for you, if you have a topic that's just been on your mind, just to kind of drop it there, and we'll be sure to put it in our podcast.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You can literally throw it in the middle of us, and we will disagree with it probably.
Likely, yes.
Okay, so...
Oh, and on the website...
No, we won't. We will not disagree on it.
Yes, we will.
No.
On the website, we will also hopefully be including some merch that you can get your hands on.
Some T-shirts.
Some T-shirts, possibly some coffee mugs, stickers. So, if you're wanting to own a sticker or a mug or a T-shirt or anything else with our logo on it,
if you want to put a sticker on your coffee mug and drink coffee in the morning while wearing your Squad Life T-shirt, you are free to do that.
That is fine. We would not argue with you. No
we
judgment.
really want you to join the Squadians of the Galaxy, our universe.
Was that just on your feet? You just thought about that?
I've literally been wanting to say that since
that was amazing.
a couple weeks ago.
That was amazing.
In fact, I've rehearsed it. Yeah, the Squaddians of the Galaxy. That's a drop right now just because Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is out there, which none of us have seen.
So be on the lookout for website announcement, on merch announcements, on giveaways, on everything. You can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter as well. As far as the squad life is concerned, we're just four guys here that met in college that have somewhat similar interests, but also bring a different variety to the table. And we'll talk a little bit later about what those aspects are. But some of the topics that we've already covered include sports, comics, movies, TV shows. We might even talk about music or current events or life in general. But we just decided to put a couple of microphones in front of us and talk about, or I guess 4 microphones. A couple is 2, right?
2 couples.
Right.
Two couples of microphones.
You know all about couples, don't you?
Yes, you did too. and you will also figure out that Camper is the other single guy in this podcast.
I forgot to mention that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's convenient that you left that out.
Yeah, just
Hey, I got you back.
completely unintentional. So what we just decided to do is we're sitting at a physically round table, and we are recording this late at night. Shout out to coffee. But Brendan, what is one of the hashtags that we normally use?
Knights around the table, and I'm not saying knights as in medieval. I'm saying like knight as in what we're.
So wordplay there. It's also knights at a round table is what I thought it was. At knights at a round table, not knights around a table.
Oh, that's knights around the table. But I like yours
That's
better.
wordplay. Isn't
We're
it?
getting there.
That's wordplay.
We're making a baby there.
We also like wordplay. That's kind of weird.
It's a brain baby.
Yeah.
Brain baby.
It's still weird.
I do want to point something out though. This began in a text message thread, essentially.
Yeah, so we've got
Yes.
a group message. Shout out to everyone out there with their squad and their squad's group message thread. We've had aspirations of starting up a podcast months, maybe even years ago. But we finally made the investment, brought our creative thinking together, and put our brains in. We made a brainchild, and that brainchild is what you're listening to.
That's right.
But as far as why I brought up the round table is that a round table is the definition of it is one that we really like. It's a setting where people bring their ideas to the table and they discuss it, and the physical nature of a round table is that you can see everyone's face, as opposed to a long rectangular table. I don't know. You could probably see it at a square table too.
But you may have to squint a little bit if it was a long rectangular table.
Oh yeah.
To
If
see
you're Jake Lee, you're
everybody.
squinting all the time.
It's-
He's actually the one I'm sitting across right now.
Right. But the cool thing about a round table is that you can pull up your chair and join our discussion. So hit us up on social media and all of our other outlets when we get a website set up and we start dropping other kinds of content. Hit us up, join our discussion. We want you to be a part of our squad. Cody or Jake, you both of you can answer this because you might have very different answers. Brandon talked a little bit about what the squad life is. I want you to give us your thoughts on where you see the squad life in 5 or 10 years down the road.
Sure. Okay. Just before that, I want to kind of speak to the whole pulling up a chair to our table. Of course, that's metaphorical because you can't really
It's a podcast.
be here at the same time. Right.
Right.
Exactly. Anyway, I just want to just land on the fact that we are just 4 normal guys. There's nothing special about us.
We're extremely normal.
Jake aspires to be normal.
We are just extremely normal guys who wanted to do something together, and this is what we thought about. And that's, I think that's what makes this special, is that we come together and we are inviting everyone, the misfits, the outcasts, the loners, the folks who are whatever, rich or well off, both ends of the spectrum. Everybody's welcome to this podcast. But on the future of this podcast, or the future of this brand, we hope to, like it was already mentioned, have this website, post blogs, just have our thoughts out there. Not that we think that, again, we're not really geniuses or, in
Right.
that respect, but, we just want to have our thoughts out there. We just want everyone to, again, join in our discussion. And 10 years down the road, hopefully these podcasts will sound a lot better than this one. Hopefully we will have a more professional setup. But also we hope to reach a larger audience. And our motto at this point is to entertain, to inspire, and to encourage all of you out there, just in life. And
That's deep.
yeah. So, Jake, do you have anything to add to that?
I would just say, as far as where we'll be in 5 to 10 years, only time will tell. But I think that has a lot to do with our fans and our listeners. Whatever they want us to be or make us out to be. It's up to y'all. Whether or not we're successful, and hopefully we are. But hopefully. We're able to like Cody said, entertain, encourage, and inspire.
Yes.
That's our main goal here, and and we're open to criticisms too. If you got anything you think we can do better, or you disagree on, let us know on Twitter, or Facebook.
That's right.
Just at us, and we'll respond.
I would like to add that where I think we would be in 5 years. I think I'm gonna be in 5 years, and well, we're all different ages, but in 5 years, I think I'm gonna be 28. So, that's just where I'm at.
I hope to be 28 in 5 years too.
I will probably be 28.
Jake?
I'll be 26.
Ah, okay.
The baby.
Almost 27.
Okay, so
well, just one more thing on the 5 to 10 years. I'm just sitting here looking at Brandon's beard, and it is nice.
I feel,
I will give you that.
This
I
is
hope
probably
to have one. In
this is
5
a
to
good
10
deal
years.
here. I mean, we got 2 single guys. I mean, I'm not gonna say you buy one get one free, but I'm saying that if one's taken, you still got the other one. And Jake and I endorse these guys.
yeah. As far as where I see the squad life, really this podcast, this inaugural episode of the Squad Life podcast, is us attempting to produce content for any and all, in this case listeners, but anyone who wants to enjoy or see or I guess I don't know another word. I don't want to say participate in, but experience our content.
Yes.
And as you can tell, this is very much our first podcast, our first recorded podcast that we'll produce, that we'll publish, and we'll put out there. And I want to see in 5 to 10 years not only the quality of our content increase, and I hope to be doing the podcast in 5 years, but I want to see us expand as far as the different kinds of content that we do. And so I want to look into maybe a blog post. I don't know if people still blog. I think 5 years ago people were really into blogging. I don't know if they still are. Maybe even potential videos or I don't know, what have you. But I want to produce content, and I think that this is a great medium to do that. That kind of rounds out our main topics, where we would go from here. We've got 3 different segments, if you will, that we would round out the clock with. The first one is questions or hypotheticals. We each kind of touched on what we're watching on Netflix right now. Did anyone not touch on that? What are you watching, Spicy?
Nothing really at the moment. I have been watching Designated Survivor. It's been coming on ABC.
Yeah. I've tried to watch it, but I just I can't get in.
It's a 24 ripoff.
I've heard a lot of people
I
that
love
really
it.
dig it.
I think it's. I mean, if you stay with it and you get past the mid-season break, it really got interesting. So
and they're in the middle of season
1,
2, or are they done?
They took a long mid-season break.
So I thought they were in season 2. So the break that they took, where I thought it was a break from season 1 to season 2, they're just now finishing up season 1.
I think they've got 2 more episodes, maybe. But once after that mid-season, after they came back, it took a different turn along the storyline, and it really got interesting. And once you're in this deep, it's kind of hard to jump off the bandwagon. But that's what I've been watching. I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, there's only like 2 more episodes, so I'm not real sure what I'll do when that's over. But that's what I've been watching. And I said I watched Braveheart just recently. That if you've never seen Braveheart, it's an extremely long movie. So I watched it over a period of like 3 or 4 days. So
Wow.
I did.
What?
I would get into bed, watch it until I got ready to go to sleep, and pick it up the next night, like reading a book.
Well, I'm currently going through That 70s Show. It's a great series in my opinion. Nowhere close to The Office. I actually kind of in between Office binges right now, but I like that show. First time I'm watching it from start to finish, so that's good. Cody, quickly, what was the last movie that you saw?
I was trying to think about that. I think the last one that I saw in theaters was the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Yes, and that was, side note, that was actually the first movie I went to by myself.
That's the No, you got to do it, bro. I encouraged him to do it. I watched Rogue One by myself.
It is
and Fantastic.
It is so freeing. Like, you have to do it.
How many other people were in the theater?
Are you trying to say that? Oh, okay.
I'm just asking.
I didn't count.
How many people?
For me, when I did it, it was very few.
Were there more than 20?
I'm gonna say no. I believe it was on a Sunday afternoon. So
Best time to go.
yes,
And Monday. But I tell you, the best part of going to see a movie by yourself is you don't have that one friend that falls asleep during the movie.
Oh.
Shout out to Danny Ray.
Oh, we did his name. Okay.
Yeah, we did it.
I can't see how anyone can fall asleep during a movie. I can't do it at home.
Right.
I also want to call Cody out because he snaps during movies, and that's distracting.
Yeah.
I can't stand friends on
Yes,
my phone.
I just like snap. For like.
So you're saying he snapped?
Yeah, he Snapchat.
Side note, this is a fact. Jake Lee cannot snap with his
I
fingers.
started to physically snap and make the noise, and then I realized I can't snap, so I didn't.
He's proud that he can make the noise with his fingers, but he actually
like
just folds his
like a
hand over
clap.
really fast. Yeah, it
so
does.
yeah, what you
sound
just
like a
heard was
snap.
not a snap.
Okay.
It was him just hitting his fingers against his palm.
If you watch it, it looks.
Oh, but yes,
ridiculous.
We'll have to Facebook Live.
I will admit that I have made Snapchatting a priority in movies before.
Bro, a person could be 5 people down to my right and be on their phone, and it'd be on the lowest brightness, and I would lean forward and look at them, and just stare.
But at that point, you're missing the movie.
because
Yes,
of the
because-
because of the results of somebody else.
Okay, so the last movie I saw, it's really not even noteworthy to point out. The movie Shallows. Who's the
Blake
actress in
Lively.
it?
Shout out to her.
Okay, yeah.
Very
The
lively.
shark movie.
Yes, very pretty.
Or hit Cody up.
Married
And to Ryan Reynolds.
to Ryan
really?
Reynolds.
Well, yeah.
You don't want
Yeah,
Deadpool.
we don't
you do
do
not
that.
want
I
Deadpool.
did not know
Yeah.
that.
Hey, they have a
Ooh.
kid together too.
Wow.
Yes, or is she pregnant?
Wow. See, I'm not. I don't keep
Yeah,
up
well, I
with
barely
actors
do
or
anyway.
actors. Yeah. So, yeah, you were name dropping earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, those are
Just
are
nod your
big
head.
names.
Just go with it. Nobody knows.
right. But I'd say it's up there on all the shark movies I've seen. It's definitely up there. The shark is very.
Well, it's very hard to
realistic.
do a shark movie.
Except the end, how the
That
shark
was
died.
stupid.
That was
It's
stupid.
very hard to watch a shark movie. I mean, very hard to do a shark movie without just
Oh, yeah.
redoing Jaws,
yeah.
every time.
But yeah, that's the last movie I saw. Like I said, watching That 70s Show. We're rounding out the show here. Moving on to our next segment. This is the segment that we would spend a good amount of time in, where we'll spend less amount in previous segments. But we'll each bring an individual segment onto the show, and they'll be different. Where I like to complain about a lot of things. And I know the Bible says not to complain, but it sure is tempting sometimes. But I'm not going to now because we're running out of time. So make sure to tune in next week when I talk about the hate that I have towards horses. And
You don't want to
Oh
miss
my
it, folks.
gosh,
You do not want
yeah.
to miss it.
We're gonna try to talk him through this. Do we need to?
no,
do we need
no,
to bring a horse?
We
This
can
is
get
not-
it. We can,
Okay, guys, we don't want to give too much away.
Okay, so I can't stand horses, and we sure will not have one in the recording studio around the round table. But be sure to tune in next week when I tell you why I can't stand horses. But other people will bring different segments as well. We might bring movie reviews. We might bring current sporting events, sporting news, or even news in the medical, the science
Sure.
field,
Photography,
whatever. Those
flowers.
are just
Sure. Poetry, maybe.
The sissy
Yeah.
stuff goes to Cody.
That's right. Shout out.
Yeah. So, Cody, how many pictures of flowers on your phone, saved in your library, would you estimate that you have? Over or under 50?
Well, right now, under 50. I had to delete a lot of photos to make room for our message thread that was mentioned earlier because we had been planning this.
Before you deleted,
Yes.
just guesstimate how many flower.
If I had to guess over the entire span of my iPhone career, which I've had one for years now, I've probably taken well over 100 photos of flowers and
Just of flowers.
plants, nature in general.
That's more flowers than I've bought for my wife and our
Wait,
romantic.
Bolton?
I'll say
I'm
if,
kidding,
if
man.
the over under for me was 2, I would be under.
Okay.
I would say I would.
I'm not gonna say I haven't, but I don't ever recall taking a picture of a plant.
Plant?
A plant?
Is it a plant?
However, I said that I don't think I've ever taken any sort of photo of a.
Shout out if any of our listeners want to support us, we're looking to get a dictation software. Is that how you say it? A speech dictation? Yeah. For Spicy. Feel free to donate some money to that.
I would encourage you to call him out on social media if you can't hear him.
I don't think it's gonna help because I've been called out all my life.
Tell us to go ahead and add us on Twitter or comment and on Facebook and hashtag Turn Up Spicy's Mike. We want that trending by next week. But those are our individual segments. Like I said, a lot of different ideas, and we'll have more time to bring those to you in episode 2. But that goes, and that really rounds out the bulk of our show. This is the time where we spend plugging in really anything that we found useful, that we've found great in our lives. And I think, Cody, do you have a plug?
Yes. I actually have. Well, I have a plug for my laptop right now. It's plugged into the wall, so they come in really convenient right about now.
Laptop chargers, you said?
Yes. I want to plug those in as much as I can.
Oh.
But if you're talking about plugging like recommendations, yes, I can do that also.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a podcast called Serial, and that's Serial, not as in the breakfast.
As in
I would like to
serial
plug
killer?
breakfast
Yes.
cereal.
I would also like to plug breakfast cereal. I eat it any time of day.
Would you consider the podcast serial to be a killer?
Well, I think they talk about. I haven't listened to season 1. I'm on season 2 of Serial. No. It doesn't continue from season to season. They talk about different topics.
Do you hate odd numbers?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. Odd numbers out there everywhere. I love you just as much as even numbers.
Even if you find them odd.
That's right. Hey, and we've come full circle.
Right.
But no, Serial. I was told to listen to the second season. The first season is, no offense to them, it just kind of moves kind of slow.
That's the one I tried to listen
Yeah,
to.
but the second season is about this fellow by the name of Bo Bergdahl. Are y'all good? Okay.
Is it good?
Okay. Well, I don't want to give too much away because it is a great podcast, and I don't want to take away any of their hard work and research by spilling the beans here. So if you're interested, just
Go listen,
to it. Also, another podcast, Stuff You Should Know. Shout out to Josh and Chuck of that show. Y'all do some great work and keep it up. Go listen to their podcast, Stuff You Should Know.
Brandon, what you gonna plug?
My plug-in is Happy Revenge of the 5th. May the Force be with you, and I just want to plug in all those poor souls who have never seen a Star Wars movie, one of which is sitting across from me,
Jake
which
Lee.
we'll get to that at another time. But if I'm going to plug somebody or something in, I want to plug Jason Momoa in because he's my spirit animal.
Who's that?
Jason Momoa. He's the actor that's playing Aquaman in the Justice League.
Or
So-
also known as Arthur Curry.
Yeah.
Just throw
Yeah,
that in there.
He's an axe throwing spirit animal.
That's right.
Mine.
Axe throwing, beer drinking, spirit animal.
Sounds like a pretty cool guy.
He's Hawaiian.
No, he is
Australian?
New Zealand, I think.
Oh, I thought he said he was.
He kind of looks like Steven Adams.
Oh, wait. He may be Hawaiian. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Stephen Adams. He's New Zealand.
Okay.
He reminds me of Stephen Adams.
yes,
okay, he may be Hawaiian.
He is Hawaiian.
Oh, he's Hawaiian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And Spicy, I think you got a plug.
Just catching me on my toes here. I'm gonna plug. I had something last night I've never had before. Cinnamon rolls cooked in a waffle maker.
Actually, sounds really good.
Delicious. Shout out Matt Powers. The most amazing thing I've ever had.
Like the rolled up Pillsbury.
Yes, like came in a can.
Yeah. So he just took. I think there's 8 that come in there. He just took one and he put it at the center and he just
I think he
closed the waffle
like press
making machine.
Like press. I don't know. Yeah, and then like closed.
Did you put the icing on it when it was done?
Yes. It was. But it was.
And you just pop the raw cinnamon bun in there.
Well, the waffle machine, the waffle
right,
iron, it
right.
cooks it.
Right.
If you didn't know that.
Oh, yes. But, usually it takes, I don't know, when we do cinnamon rolls, we cook them for maybe 15.
Yeah. He just did it.
Do you have a waffle iron, or is that what it's called? A waffle?
Yes. Sure.
Do you,
I'm pretty sure you could get away with.
do you
saying
have
waffle
a waffle making machine in your possession?
I do not, but I can see if I can get my hand.
Do you know anybody that does?
Matt Powers has
maker.
one.
Well, besides him, I only know hotels.
Yeah, I don't think I may have had one growing up, but we never used it. It might have broke early on.
Are you
I
sure
think.
that wasn't an easy bake oven?
It could have been.
We may actually have one in our attic. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not going to commit to that.
Well, just look.
Okay.
But I feel like if that's something I had, I would probably use it.
Oh,
too.
waffles are so much better than pancakes.
That's,
When did we
No,
get
no,
on
no,
this?
We can't make that decision.
Why
Okay,
did you
that's
bring that
another
up just
time.
So, all right. Well, apparently we'll talk about that next episode. Okay. So, as far as any plugs that I would have, I really don't have one. I will like to recommend to you once again to be on the lookout for merch that will be incoming here in the next week or two once we get our website up. We actually found a cool site and we're designing t-shirts now. We're going to leave a link and design a couple t-shirts that our fans or our listeners would hopefully like, and if they want to support us, it could range anywhere from $15 to I think $19. If that's in your price range, if you want to see this content, this kind of content, increase in quality and increase in scope, and you feel like supporting us, then that's one way you can do that. You can hit us up on our website here that's going to be dropping soon, on Facebook, for other ways that you can also support us. But as far as shout outs, I do want to shout out Mr. Matt Butts. That is his last name. We're not joking. He does a podcast called The Reformed Outlook, and this dude is amazing. If that kind of content is in your thing, it is a little bit more spiritual in nature. But if that's not your thing, that's okay. But he helped us out trying to kind of get our minds in the right space on what we need and making sure that that we're all on one page and doing this. But moving on, that really rounds out our show. As far as signing off, tell the people what they can do.
Be sure to like our Facebook page. It's the Squad Life Podcast on Facebook. Like I said earlier, comment anything you want to. Share us on Facebook if you be willing to do that. You can also follow us on Twitter at _Squad Life. That's on Twitter. Also, you can follow me. This is Jake at True Maroon 795. That's on Twitter.
How many followers do you have? I've only got
on Twitter?
Yeah.
I think 66 or something.
Yeah, he needs more. Hit him up.
But that's Twitter, and on Instagram at JCLee52.
And if you don't mind, just wherever you listen to your podcasts, just go ahead and subscribe to it. We would sure appreciate that. If you want the if you want the latest content, that's how you will know about it. Just subscribe to it. And also, if you like what we have to say, please leave us an honest 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast.
People, those really help. Yes. Review.
Yes.
If you like the show, give us 5 stars. If you don't like it or you don't think it's worth 5 stars, then that's fine. We're not asking for that. Well, we are asking for 5 stars, but if you feel that 4 stars is sufficient, then that's fine. We appreciate your review. We also appreciate the shares that.
Yes, exactly. If you the more shares that we receive, the more listeners that we can reach, the farther our reach will go.
And the closer we'll get to world domination.
That's right.
And Brandon, what you got?
Just be looking forward to the website. We're working on it now. It should be dropping hopefully this week, early this week. So look at that. That's going to be your place to go for the blogs that we have coming out, the funny videos, and
we should have an email subscribe button down at the bottom where you can get notified when new content drops as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
On our website. So, other than that, that wraps up the first inaugural kickoff Squad Life podcast.
I feel like we're going to have more listeners than Trump had in the inaugural presidency.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge.
But thank you guys for sticking with us. Once again, we want to shout out if you have just supported us by giving us a like or a share on Facebook. We really appreciate it. If friends and family, we really appreciate your support. Any listeners that we didn't know previously that support us in that, we really want to thank you. One thing we do want to add on before we close out here is that if you do leave us a review, we'll be sure to give you guys a shout out. We'll read our favorite reviews each week and be a part of the squad. This is the squad. We're signing out, and we will see you in the next episode.
See ya!